Hello, everyone. My name is James LaCroix, and quarantine has made art very difficult for me. Recently, I think I've had the worst art block I've had in a really long time. I wasn't able to draw for like months, which is bad when drawing is what you do for a living. So I wasn't really sure what to do. Like I thought, oh no, I'm just like never gonna be able to draw again. Like it was starting to feel very hopeless. But I did manage to break through it, and I thought other people might be interested in hearing how I did that if you too are having some uh, quarantine depression art block. I feel like that's probably a common occurrence right now. I mean, I know we all think that we're going to do so much more work now that we're all at home all the time, but I think we underestimate how much motivation we get from the world around us. And yeah, so let's talk about why you have art block in the first place. Most likely, you've been looking at your work recently, or your recent work, or work from a while ago, and you feel like it all looks awful, and you can't make anything good. And when you try to make art, it just seems off, like it's just not looking right. Usually, this is because your understanding of certain fundamentals and like building blocks has actually increased faster than your hand-eye coordination and your muscle memory has been able to keep up with. So usually you're actually about to have like a big paradigm shift in your art. So it's not a bad thing per se, but like maybe if you've noticed in the past when you've had artist block, once you were able to draw again, you might have improved like a lot. So sometimes it can be a good thing, but obviously it's still a problem. So we need to break through it. And sometimes, there's a lot of environmental and emotional components. It gets really difficult and discouraging. So if you have artist block and you clicked this video looking for a cure, then today is the day to start making art again. First, the thing that will give you back your ability to draw, like the one key thing, is to make a good piece of art. And obviously, this is a catch-22 because if you could do that, then you wouldn't have artist block in the first place. So that's kind of the issue. So what we're going to do is trick your mind and your muscle memory into making a good piece of art. And we're going to have to cheat to do that. Which, like, don't worry. Like, I'll tell you a secret. A lot of people who do art for, like, games, like video games and TV shows and stuff like that, they do a lot more cheating than you probably think. So don't worry. They're not, like, any better than you are for doing this. I'm going to show you how to make a good piece of art even when you literally cannot make a good piece of art. This process will probably take you several days to do, so don't try to do it all at once because like you'll regret it, I swear. Just, pace yourself, obviously. You don't want to burn out immediately. That will defeat the purpose. Also, this isn't a long-term solution for making art in general because it will cripple you if you rely on it for too long, but it's okay to use it to get you like up and started again. It's like using crutches when you've broken your leg. Eventually you do need to put them away and use your leg again, but it's okay to let it heal first. You'll understand why I say this in a moment. The first step is to trace. You're going to find an image that you really like with like good clear shapes in it. Like I have an entire library of just like inspirational images, and I recommend that anybody who's an artist have something like that, or a Pinterest or something like that. So get a good image that inspires you from there, pull it into your art program and like make a layer on top of it and just start tracing the shapes that you like in the image. You can use like a photo or you can use someone else's art or like anything you want. Like I honestly recommend trying it with both, just for the variety of it. And you're going to just trace these shapes until you start to feel more warmed up. You can even trace like the whole picture if you really want to, but you don't have to. You can just trace parts of it if you'd rather do that. Don't worry, the art police aren't going to come to your house and like arrest you. The whole point of this is to get your muscles back into the habit of making shapes again, like just making lines. So you want to try to avoid making these hairy lines when you trace. You want to try to make confident strokes. It's okay if they're not like accurate because that's what Control Z is for, but just make solid quick strokes so that you can get used to using your hand-eye coordination again. And you just like do this as long as you need to. If you do it for like a few hours or if you do it for like a few days, just like literally trace some art. Like don't post it because it's not yours, but just trace it to get your like muscles all warmed up again. So after you feel pretty satisfied with that, you're tired of doing it, we're gonna go to phase 2. So I'm assuming most people that are interested in this are like me and are like character artists. So like you draw your like OC or like fan art of characters that you like and so on. So like basically you draw people. If that's not the case, or if you're like a furry artist or something like that, like this should still work for you. Just make like the appropriate adjustments to what you're making. So yeah, you would just like replace what I tell you to do with whatever you draw. So if you have artist log and I ask you to draw a face right now, you would probably find it pretty difficult. But what if I just asked you to draw an eye, just one eye? You can do like an anime eye or a cartoon eye or a realistic eye, however you want, just do one eye. And if you find that you can't really do that easily either, you can pull up a reference and draw it based on the reference. As long as you just make an eye. And then do like a nose and draw yourself a mouth. And if you can draw those things, then see if you can draw just like a head, like a blank head, not one with like, a full face on it, but just like, the outline of a head. If you have trouble with that, then we can like dust off this old relic if you remember this, from all the how to draw manga books. Just do it like that. And if you can't get the features to come out right, like any of your eyes or your mouths or whatever, then honestly, like, take another picture that you like and trace them. Seriously, I'm going somewhere with this, so don't run away. I promise we're not going to steal art. Just make sure that if you're referencing or tracing to do this, that you use a different picture for each feature. Like, you don't take them all from the same pictures, basically. You want to always want to reference from a variety of things. Usually the golden rule is at least 3 images if you're going to reference things for a picture so that it's more original. And you have to fill in more of the blanks yourself. But really at this point, the point is to just have some features down that look correct. So what we're going to do, once you can do like a set of eyes and a nose and a mouth like individually and a head individually, we're going to make a brush out of each feature or like piece of a face. And you're going to make a lot of these, so you should spend a few days on it and like build up a good variety of them. You're going to just draw a bunch of sets of eyes at different angles, like straight on, do 3/4, do profile, do male, do female, tilt it up and down, or like whatever you want. Just give yourself a good variety and do a bunch of noses and do a bunch of mouths at these same angles. Like I organized them by which angle they were, which I would recommend doing to make it easier for yourself. And you do like different kinds and different shapes and different expressions, and I made myself like a whole bunch, but you can make as many as you want. Just make sure that you have enough to mix and match them. That's the idea. So, then you're also going to have to draw the blank head at different angles, and you will want to put at least a marker somewhere like for where the features go, like where the eyes and the nose and the mouth goes. Even if you don't like detail them like as much as I did, as long as you measure them out to be the right proportions. And again, if you can't get the proportions right, just like copy it from a reference or like just straight up lay it over a reference image and align it like based on that. Just make sure that you get it aligned properly. So now that you have all your separate features, you're going to make them into brushes. So this is how you do it in Photoshop. I don't really know how to do it in other programs, so that's something that you might have to Google, but you just go up to Edit and create brush preset, or define brush preset, and just name it whatever you want, and you have a brush. So you can go select it and then just kind of stamp it wherever you want it. You're going to do this with all of these different features at all these different angles, and then you should have an entire whole catalog of brushes that are just parts of a human face from different angles. And you should be able to like mix and match these to make little sketches with them, and it'll give you a pretty good looking face, which you thought you couldn't make, right? So now you have a way to just like build a face, kind of like a Picrew, like that Japanese avatar making site where you can just like select the different features that you want without having to be able to draw the whole face accurately by yourself. I would recommend using this method to like finish up a few drawings, like make some finished images with it until you feel ready to start doing it on your own again. Again, like this is just a crutch, so you use it to let yourself heal, but not permanently, or you're going to atrophy. So you're just going to like do this until you start getting ready to do it on your own again. This will help you get back into the mindset and the habit of drawing, and it'll raise your confidence again. And for that reason, it is okay to post these on social media, even though you cheated. Trust me, as long as you've like used a variety of different references, you're not doing anything wrong. You're giving yourself back a creative outlet. And if concept artists at video game studios and stuff can like photo bash, which is just pasting a bunch of images together and kind of painting over it, then there's nothing wrong with you making some art like this and posting it so you can feel like an artist again. And that's the key, is you need to do this until you feel like an artist, and then you feel like you can start making art normally again. Because like I said, the key to breaking through your art block is that you just need to make a good picture. And this is a pretty effective way to kind of trick yourself into being able to make a good picture even when you really feel like you couldn't normally just like draw a face that looks good. Now you can, and you can do it pretty quickly, so you're not going to have as much like blank page syndrome because you can just throw this down really fast and you have all your building blocks, and then you can just draw on top of this. So you can do like, this is like your sketch, and you know, whatever your style is, like your style doesn't have to be as detailed as mine is. Like obviously you can do this with like anime features or like cartoony ones or whatever it is that you draw. And so this speed paint that's been going is also one that I did with this method, but just showing you kind of from the ground up. So give this a shot, spend at least like a good week on it or so, and let me know if this works for you, honestly. Like if you do try this, please like comment down below and tell me how it went, because I would like to know. And if there are any other kinds of topics that you guys would want to see a video on, also please let me know. I have some ideas, but like I can always have other ideas for content, you know. Alright, so everybody go out there and start making art again, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!